Today on Dr. Phil.
How long since you've seen your children?
Over 5 years.
Did her ex turn her kids against her?
He set out to make me look like I was crazy.
Or was it her behavior
She's thrown her hot tea on me. She just gets angry.
that is driving her entire family away?
I was a loving mother.
What you're doing is not working. You blame everybody.
I don't want to play this blame game.
Listen, I'm going to conduct an interview here, and I'm sorry if you don't like the questions. You don't really want to hear any of this, do you?
I think it needs to be heard with a therapist because this is delusional.
Yeah, let's get somebody out here that knows what the hell they're doing. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've heard long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
In 5, 4,
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
go, Dr. Phil.
How are you? Hey, guys. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. All of you parents out there, I want you to imagine that you've been married for 20 wonderful years. Then one day you wake up and everything seems to have changed. Your perception is that your entire family has turned on you. Your entire family has deserted you. You lose your spouse, your home, and most tragically, your children. Now, the children you raised, now all of a sudden, they don't even want to speak to you. They don't want to see you. And you just keep asking yourself, what have I done to deserve this? Well, Sarah says this is her story. Take a look.
Mark and I were married for 23 years. We raised 3 wonderful children together. I was the full-time mother. We were one big happy family. After being happily married for about 19 years, the marriage started to fall apart. My children turned on me. My husband turned on me as well. The children became very disrespectful, rude, and condescending. I was abused by my children. One of my sons called me a piece of... We don't talk that way. I would tell my children to do something, and Mark would say, oh, you don't have to do that. Mark started making me out to be a bad person, that I was crazy, that I was irrational. I was so devastated. I felt horrible. They became monsters. They were nothing that I taught them. Manners, civility, respect, kindness.
I told her I love you, but I can't live with you anymore, and we need to move forward to get a divorce.
After the divorce, my children treated me like I was a disease. I was a plague. They wouldn't have anything to do with me. Over the course of 5 years, I have sent them about 1,500 emails and left 1,500 voicemails. My children have never returned an email and never returned a voicemail. There's no doubt in my mind that my ex-husband, Mark, has brainwashed our children against me.
So Sarah decided to take matters into her own hands. In fact, she has made it her mission, her crusade, to not only reunite with her own children, but she says help families everywhere.
My ex-husband, Mark, has used parental alienation strategies to teach my children to hate me, when in actuality, I'm their loving mother. Life without my children feels empty. It's horrible. I was so upset and frustrated that I decided to do something about it. I've created what I call a campaign to bring awareness to parental alienation and then help resolve it. I have some speaking engagements coming up, and my master plan is I'd like to get the money to hire a lobbyist. This is definitely my passion. On average, I'd say I spend about 12 hours a day working on this, at least. It makes me very angry to feel that I'm a victim of parental alienation, but it also empowers me. So I can help my children as well as millions of other children.
Okay, Sarah, I'm glad to meet you. I'm sorry for the circumstances. I wish we were talking about a happier situation with your family, but you feel that your husband has brainwashed your children and turned them against you, correct?
correct. It's an indoctrination.
Do you think he did this consciously and purposely, that he set out to alienate them from you?
He set out to make me to look like I was crazy or a person that I'm not. It's called strategies, and they...
No, wait a minute. Don't give me a 101 on parental alienation syndrome. I want to know your experience. I want to talk about your situation.
Well, in my situation, I didn't understand. So I went to therapy, and they said, yes, this is what happens. Children's minds can be brainwashed, and I went through therapy to understand what happened to me and my children.
Okay, and at this point, you have how many children?
I have 3.
Okay, and you have no contact with any of them at all right now?
Well, I was advised to always keep in touch, email, let them know none of this was their fault, that I don't blame them, that I love them, that I'm here for them. We had beautiful relationships until the parental alienation started, and I reiterate this.
How long has it been since you've seen your children?
Over 5 years. No, I would like to talk about moving forward with my children. I'm a wonderful person, and I'm a kind mother.
Let's hear what Sarah's ex-husband, Mark, has to say.
Okay.
We had a pretty good marriage for the first 19 years. Just as we got to the 19th year, the dynamics during the marriage changed. Sarah became completely irrational and illogical. Sarah started more and more to get angry about things that made no sense. She became very unhappy. She would spend about 3 to 4 hours a night literally raking me about everything that I did wrong. Sarah, I believe, absolutely was abusing both myself and the children. She would yell out and she would claim that I was stupid and ignorant. I always thought that Sarah would snap out of it, and eventually I couldn't live with that anymore, so I needed to get divorced. Sarah's told me that she was going to destroy me and that she was going to win.
Well, Mark says that he had no choice but to take some drastic measures.
Sarah has attempted to make my life a living hell. If you don't agree with her, you're bad. It's as simple as that. She was writing emails telling me I was evil, I was a parental alienator, that I committed all sorts of frauds. And I believe the record one day was 21 emails.
I emailed my ex-husband, Mark, in a reasonable manner. I was peaceful, just like Gandhi and Martin Luther King talk about. I wanted to understand why my kids didn't want to see me.
The kids forwarded an email that their mother sent. The gist of that email was that she said that Osama bin Laden had been brought to justice, and the very next sentence said that a horrible person in their lives she was hoping to bring to justice as well.
I was not threatening him in any way. If there's some threat that he perceived something of a threat, he should have brought it to me. I don't have that behavior. I don't threaten people. I'm more collaborative.
I went to the police. I was extremely fearful of what it meant for my life. Ultimately, there was a restraining order issued to Sarah.
I feel like Mark got the restraining order so he could further align the children with him. Mark has tried to make me out to be crazy, unreasonable, and someone they should fear.
I am extremely concerned about what Sarah might do, and I have been told by professionals that I should be afraid of what she might do.
Tell me why you want to be here today.
I'd like to be here because I'm hopeful that somehow my ex-wife, Sarah, can figure out that I'm not an alienating parent, and also that, you know, the possibility of her somehow having some relationship with her children depends on changes that she's going to need to understand.
You want that relationship for her to have with
I've encouraged it all along. She doesn't understand it.
Mark has remarried, and his new wife is here. She, too, has a restraining order against Sarah, separate from her husband. We're going to meet her next. Plus, one of Sarah's children was, in fact, willing to come here today. What they remember of their childhood when we come back.
It's extremely important for Sarah to understand that I did not take our children away from her, that her actions, her statements are the ones that drove the kids away from her.
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil.
You were convicted of battery, 2 felonies.
I am a violent person.
She's afraid her boyfriend could kill her.
According to her, you have put a pillow over her face.
I pushed it on her face. I wasn't trying to suffocate her.
Dangerous love.
I'm not this crazy stalker that you're making me seem like.
I'm just asking you questions.
Ask me the questions the way that they're worded, and I'll